Hello everybody, today we are taking a look at the 2008 version of Universe 2.0
Cyclonus, the warrior.
and his buddy Nightstick. Now when this version of Cyclonus came out, up until that point, we only had two other proper iterations of them. Obviously there was the variations of the Generation 1 mold, along with the BotCon recolor of the Ultra Jetstorm figure that was supposed to be a future iteration of Cyclonus. Which makes our guy here the third iteration, and including such little things like his figure Nightstick here, his little Target Master buddy, that actually just helps add to the aesthetic. However, when we go ahead and take him off, we can kind of appreciate some of the details on the cockpit. I love the machine guns on the front and how they chose to address the legs back here along with the arms and everything. It is maybe a little bit questionable, but and not as tight as our modern day guy. Now, one of the other cool little things is the fact that he does actually include landing gear on this side of his body. Now, obviously, we just mentioned how the newer Cyclonus is actually very much superior, and when you compare the vehicle modes side by side, it's very obvious. You can just see how much cleaner this new iteration of Cyclonus is. However, it's just a unique space jet, and I totally dig that. So here we can see the differences between both versions of Nightstick, and I do have to admit that even though this is the modern mold that they would use for Nightstick, I like this iteration better just because this one just feels a little bit more unique, and I like the fact that it just kind of reminds me more of what we would see in the animation model as opposed to the mass-produced gunman over here. Our boy here has finally transformed into his robot mode, and as you can see in his robot mode, he is a very lanky boy. And whether you look at it by 2008 standards or even modern day, the Generations iteration is such a glow up from the original. And, you know, I mean, obviously you would expect that with a difference of about 20-ish years of design, like improvements and everything like that. But and don't get me wrong, I do have a fondness for this original Cyclonus iteration. And here he is likewise stacked up against the newest version of Cyclonus. But again, here we can see a little bit more of that design improvement because just as the 2008 version was such a glow up from the original, the new version of Cyclonus is likewise the glow up from the guy we're looking at today. What an interesting lineage for Skywarp. Cyclonus.
Well, they were the same guy.
So does our Cyclonus here have a place among the Cycloni pantheon? And I think that definitely he does.